My faith in the total interpretation of the cosmos, as it is posited by the ancient Greek philosophers, leads me to the conclusion that science, in its effort to interpret the totality of the universe, will always find itself beyond the horizon, as Professor Hawking calls it. For reality is found in the esoteric interpretation of laws, numbers, and equations. It is the reality of insight, wisdom, intuition that acts beyond scientific knowledge. It is the horizon of the soul of the world that only the human soul, which is a part of it, can perceive. When we discussed the real and the unreal on Apocryphal Harmony, the telephone lines were literally jammed with viewers thirsting to be informed whether the world we live in is a reality or an illusion. The conclusions were many. If we take the position of Pythagoras, we will say that the unique reality in the world is number and mathematical relations. Xenophanes believed that the greatest reality is the beginning of the world from God. Parmenides proclaimed that the unitary principle of being was ungenerated, immobile, and incorruptible. Heraclitus held the doctrine of general flux. He believed that reality consisted in the unceasing transformation of things in the world. We do not have the right to say that a thing, for example this garden, is precisely what we see. But we do have the right to say that this garden is what it is now, at this moment. But in the next moment, it will have undergone all the consequences of the change that derives from the continuous flow of becoming. Thus, this garden is never the same.
Ο νεοπλατωνικός φιλόσοφος Πλωτίνος.
The Neoplatonic philosopher Plotinus believed that the visible universe is an imitation. The real universe is mental, that which represents being. Being is not found anywhere, cannot be defined, measured or comprehended, for it itself is everything, and all souls are enclosed within it. For this reason, the highest reality a human being can experience is consciousness of being.
I like Plotinus's ideas, and I wrote down the Greek word for being, om. The letter omicron is the circle, the design representation of the all. The letter ni, as a mathematical term, defines the infinite, that which cannot be counted or conceived. Hence, om equals omicron plus ni. This idea filled me with enthusiasm. I considered that because in the Greek language each letter is also a number with a unique value, and each word is a sum of letters which interpret with arithmetical and semantic completeness what the word itself means, I concluded that the single word om can constitute for each person the point of departure to conceive of the one, the monad, the beginning of numbers within which the all, in infinite arithmetical sums, evolves and exists, producing the eternal life universe. The idea of God existed deeply rooted in me from my childhood years. The automatic clock of nature, which at every moment determined birth, life and death, I felt was turning its minute hand wherever I found myself, in whatever existed around me. God, the universe, our earth and I were four different things, which I had made it my purpose to unite in an essence of the one. Only then could I claim to have entered into the realm of wisdom and the uniqueness of the Creator.
God expresses himself through religious perception, the universe through scientific views, our earth through the study of nature, our self through self-knowledge.
This flower in the soil, is it animate or inanimate? It must be animate, since as soon as I pour water on the soil, the flower will begin to drink, and not only drink, it will at the same time choose ingredients in the earth and in its roots, which it will begin to spread. It will suck out the ingredients, it will pass them through its internal arteries, and will transform them into blossoms and leaves. In short, this flower is a regular, complete mind. The soil, does it have a soul? That too has a soul. It collaborates with light, water, and wind for the sake of nature. Like a gigantic factory, it continuously transforms the elements which compose it, reconstitutes them with light and water, and, in a new quality and kind of nourishment, it feeds the trees, plants, flowers, man, everything. I looked with admiration at the dark green climbing ivy, which I had planted a few months ago. It climbed high up the trunk of the tree, like a mountaineer. I noticed the small hairy feet, which it spread to its left and its right, and which stuck like a spike on the surface of the rock, so as to base its long body securely. What marvelous mind was functioning in that plant, which speechlessly, mutely had adopted the incline of the tree, observing the physical laws, the mathematical equations and the geometric designs which it had inherited from the University of Nature. I looked with awe around me, the trees, the plants, the lake, the water which gurgled as it flowed. I heard the cries of the birds which flew from branch to branch. I let the murmur of the wind, which passed through the foliage, flow to the depths of my soul. And suddenly, it seemed to me that this whole marvelous world, which was covered by the dome of the sky, was a boundless temple, and within that temple, the liturgy of nature, the eternal becoming, in mystical notes and voices, had been transformed into a heavenly psalm, a universal hymn, glorifying the Supreme One, the Divine Mind, the Great Overseer, who within that all lives, moves, and exists.